15 U.S. bunker buster bombs have reportedly been secured by Iran's IRGC. This means long-range U.S. weapons could potentially be reverse-engineered and developed in the future, sending a massive red flag about the loss of the highly classified tech inside them. On top of that, the U.S. Navy just made history, breaking through the drone technology deadlock that could completely change the future of naval and aerial warfare. This happened when the MQ-25A drone tanker successfully completed its maiden test flight. So let's break down these two massive updates, starting with those 15 missing bunker busters. An unexpected incident surfaced in recent reports from local Iranian media, leaking information that should definitely put the US government on high alert. Tehran claims to have successfully secured at least 15 units of heavy US munitions in intact condition, basically unexploded ordnance. And what bumps the situation up to a top-tier security threat is the fact that the assets that fell into their hands are the heavyweight GBU-57 Massive Ordnance Penetrators, or MOPs. These are the deepest bunker busters ever assembled by the US Air Force. These giant bombs, weighing over 30,000 pounds, were originally dropped with the mission to flatten Iran's multi-layered underground missile and nuclear facilities. But now, they've reportedly ended up on the research tables of the Revolutionary Guard's special facilities. This is basically the biggest jackpot Iran could have pulled from the recent conflicts. The massive secrets hidden behind the devastating power the US uses to destroy deep targets are now on the verge of being dismantled layer by layer through a complete reverse engineering process. Losing just one GBU-57 is already a nightmare for Strategic Command in Washington, let alone 15 of them at once. For those of you who might not get how dangerous this is, you need to know that the GBU-57 is not your average conventional bomb. It's an instrument designed specifically for the most extreme combat scenarios, built to pierce deep into the earth and destroy high-value targets hiding behind the hardest fortified facilities. Its massive size and weight mean it can only be carried and dropped by the world's most expensive strategic stealth bombers, like the B-2 Spirit or the B-21 Raider. When dropped from extreme altitudes, this bomb doesn't rely on its explosives right away. It uses the pure kinetic energy from its 30,000-pound freefall, slamming down to penetrate up to 60 meters of reinforced concrete, or dozens of meters of solid earth without breaking apart. Only after reaching that precise depth, the 5,000-pound warhead inside detonates. It creates an artificial earthquake effect that completely obliterates everything inside the bunker, destroying facilities that were previously thought to be impenetrable. And now, those terrifying weapons are in the hands of Tehran's engineers, and it's highly likely that Chinese engineers will be joining the party. If Iran manages to dissect and understand its sensor and navigation mechanisms, the impact will be massive. Defensively, they'll know exactly what kind of concrete formulation or soil layering is needed to withstand the impact of these bombs in the future. They could also develop next-generation signal jammers specifically designed to blind the navigation systems of American smart bombs, ensuring they miss their targets entirely. Even further, and a lot scarier, Tehran almost certainly won't keep this technology a secret to themselves. In today's highly polarized geopolitical climate, the tech behind the GBU-57 is a god-tier bargaining chip. Iran has a golden opportunity to trade these reverse-engineered blueprints with allies, especially China. In return, Tehran could demand the transfer of advanced fighter jet tech, next-generation S-400 air defense systems, or even clandestine support to accelerate their nuclear program. The technical failure of these steel monsters to detonate on the battlefield has now turned into a strategic disaster. It's a golden opportunity for the anti-Western axis to study and eventually neutralize one of the biggest tactical advantages the Pentagon has relied on for decades. While the shadow of that technology leak continues to haunt them, the US military has just successfully broken a barrier that has been holding back American naval air supremacy. On April 25th, aerospace giant Boeing, along with the US Navy, successfully carried out the first test flight for their operational autonomous aerial refueling drone, the MQ-25A Stingray. This futuristic, unmanned prototype put on an incredible demonstration of machine autonomy. The test flight, which lasted a full 2 hours, successfully validated the reliability of its complex flight control systems, tested the precision of its satellite navigation, and ensured smooth command transmission, all closely monitored by operators from the MD-5 ground control station. This smart control system itself was built based on Lockheed Martin's architecture, which is already proven in controlling advanced military drone fleets. Now, it's true that this maiden flight didn't include a live demonstration of mid-air refueling to another fighter jet just yet, but the success of these basic autonomous maneuvers is already a giant leap towards the future of maritime warfare. To understand the urgency here, we have to look at the harsh reality faced by American aircraft carriers out in the open ocean. For years, the heavy lifting of mid-air refueling for long-range strike aircraft has always been burdened on the fleet of HA-18 Super Hornets, which had to be heavily modified with extra external tanks. From a combat strategy perspective, this is a painful waste of combat resources. Using frontline fighter jets as flying gas stations means the Navy is drastically reducing the number of fighters they can actually deploy for real airstrike missions. This is exactly where the MQ-25A Stingray steps in as the savior of the US naval power doctrine. This sleek, stealthy drone, measuring about 50 feet long with a wingspan of over 70 feet, is powered by a Rolls-Royce jet engine designed specifically for high-level cruising efficiency. By shifting the entire refueling workload to this unmanned drone, the US Navy effectively frees up dozens of their Super Hornets to get back to their original jobs, dominating aerial combat and destroying enemy air defenses. The future integration of the Stingray will drastically extend the combat radius of carrier air wings. It's the ace card that will allow American carrier strike groups to sail safely in international waters, way out of reach of enemy anti-ship missiles, while still having the absolute capability to project strikes deep into the heart of enemy defenses. It's a brilliantly engineered solution to solve the complicated dilemma between operational costs and combat effectiveness. This unmanned program started back in 2018 with a massive initial contract value reaching $805 million. So, to wrap this up, these two stories highlight both a massive loss and an incredible leap forward for the US. They potentially lost their monster GBU-57 bunker buster, a weapon with fantastic research costs, widely hailed as unrivaled in its class. Now it's under threat of being compromised by Iran and its allies, potentially triggering a domino effect that directly benefits America's heavy rivals on the world stage. But on the flip side, the brilliant success of the MQ-25A Stingray's autonomous test flight proves the exact opposite. It sends a very clear message that the giant American war machine isn't just sitting around crying over leaked military technology. They keep moving forward, adapting to new threats that continue to evolve faster than ever before. So, what do you think about the news today? Let me know.